Hello my friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family. Well guys, boom boom boom. So we have a 6.1 in Alaska, we have that 6.8 we talked about in Brazil, and now we have a 6.6 in Indonesia, all within 24 hours. And if you guys caught yesterday's video on the 6.8 quake, we were talking about energy transfer. And so when we look at the area that it hit, and we switch to the 7 days, this is basically the area right here, 6.8. It was 575 kilometers deep. So when they're that deep, they usually don't create that much damage at the surface. However, they often create larger magnitude quakes that are shallower. And so that's the danger when you see something like this. And as we had talked about in that video, we talked about the energy transferring across to the Mid-Atlantic ridge, also that it would go down and head down towards Chile and Argentina, Peru, and then also the potential to go to the antipode. And the antipode in this case is actually all the way over here. And so basically in Indonesia, Malaysia, and off the coast there. And so that is where the 6.6 hit. As you see right here, at a 60-kilometer depth. Now luckily, no tsunami, and also nobody hurt, so that's a good thing. And we do have some aftershocks at 5.1 and a 5.0. They're listing them both as 5.1. One of the articles said it was a 5.1 and 5.0, as well as quite a few other ones going. So we do see some energy release, and thankfully, so far so good. Not in a way that has taken lives, but definitely an uptick in activity going on, so we'd still keep our eyes open for the potential of large ones as we had talked about. And if we take a look over here at Ventusky, let's see what we got going right now. It was a gorgeous day, gorgeous. We were 65 degrees, sunny, not too many chemtrails. Yesterday there was virtually no chemtrails. It was fabulous. We could see that we're in the 40s over here around London, and probably about the same, high 30s, around 40 over in Paris as well. When we look out west, mostly in the 50s, the coldest patch again has been through the mountains in the west, and we have some nice warmth seeping up into Texas. They're into the 70s as well. And then when we take a peek, let's just take a look and see how wave action is. Pretty significant waves over here, over in the Atlantic. There's some flooding going on that we're going to touch on with all the storms that has gone in the West Coast. And we see some pretty good swells again, 25 foot or better, over off the eastern coast of Kamchatka in Russia. And so we have Stromboli Volcano, intense eruption, persistent explosions with high acoustic pressure and high puffing in Italy. Stromboli's been active. Actually, Italy has been active with quakes. Same thing with Greece. The energy from Greece usually ends up going over towards Italy. And this is the flooding we were talking about. Embarcadero flooding, prompts advisory. San Francisco officials, as you can see it, there's a video there, as the West Coast has been getting hit with some pretty good storms. But the blizzards they've been having going on over around Greece has been pretty crazy. As you see the guy digging out from his roof, it looks like he's got 6 and 7 foot swells of snow on top of the roof there. It's left 2 dead, 2 missing as the cold snap hits Greece and other parts of Europe. And it's going to continue as we look at what's coming. North Austria and all through the mountains, the Alps, extremely deep snow. Will get even deeper this week as another 50 to 100 centimeters of snow is likely to fall. And that Arctic outbreak we've been hearing about, well, it's definitely heading in to southwest and west central Europe, and it's going to keep going well into next week as well. We had another close call asteroid. This one came by at 0.42 lunar distance, so less than half of the distance from the Earth to the Moon. and this one was first observed on January 3rd. And it was a significant one, 78 to 173 feet in diameter, so that is significant in size. And then we have a professor revealing the UK's city most at risk of a mega tsunami if La Palma volcano blows. And La Palma is the one in the Atlantic that we have been most concerned about because the potential is there for the same situation we saw with Anak Krakatau. And the only difference is this would be way more devastating. And some have said that the tsunami could be 300 feet or better in height from this one. And so the city most at risk in the UK is Bristol, due to its unusual terrain that can cause high tidal range, making residents vulnerable when a tsunami hits. And tsunamis have hit the UK in the past, as we have seen. And history shows us. Now, the La Palma one would actually impact, it would impact just about everything on the Atlantic coast when you get down to it. And especially hard hit would also be Florida and the eastern U.S. coast, as well as, of course, northern Africa, Brazil, Portugal, Spain, France, and the UK. And so we've talked about certain areas perhaps having to be abandoned unless there's tremendous earthworks undertaken to alleviate all the flooding and all the earth changes that we're seeing that's coming with it. And this article is talking about the death of Venice. Are we witnessing the death of Venice? The city is battling a losing battle, and they're dealing with losing a lot of tourism dollars, and the flooding is reaching crisis level. And we have seen pictures of people sitting at these outdoor cafes submerged up to their chest in water, toasting each other. This couple's all smiles as they're wading through knee-deep water. But, it's a losing battle at this point. And they do have plans for huge, basically, ramparts to keep the water out. But the officials think it's going to be too little, too late. And this is something that's going to be, coming to the forefront in many places around the world. So the CDC is saying pediatric flu deaths are now at 13. Flu is widespread in 24 states, particularly in the Northeast, up in New York City, Massachusetts, and as well as other areas as well. And Northeast has the highest number of laboratory confirmed cases for the week at 275, as well as the highest number to date for the season at 718. So this year is definitely ahead of last year as far as those numbers are going. And so yet another study is suggesting that a vegan diet is going to be the most healthy diet to prevent against heart disease. Well, think about how our bodies developed, and we were hunter-gatherers way back in the day, and we didn't always eat meat. That's just a fact that we kind of don't even think about. So meat tends to be acidic, and acidic conditions tend to bring on disease. So getting as many veggies into your diet as possible is definitely a very healthy thing. And then also fruit as well. Plus, they're just nutritionally dense, and the veggies in most cases, not all, but in most, are pretty calorically sparse, which is good because you get a lot of nutrition, for what you pay in calories. And so this, again, there's just study after study. And so if you are a meat eater, just, maybe have some more meatless days, as our ancestors did. And this is out of Insteading, and this is some caffeine-free coffee substitutes that you could possibly find even in your own backyard. And I was just on Amazon last night ordering some more books all about learning what plants locally are edible and what are beneficial in medicinal ways as well. And there's quite a few different things that can be used. So as this author is saying, sources I've read also indicate that cleavers, seeds, burdock root, beech nuts, Kentucky coffee tree, sunflower seeds can all be used. Other things like we had talked about, chicory. Chicory is definitely something you could use. Dandelion root, and dandelion is good for many other things as well. I use it during cleanses and fasts. Acorns, we're talking about black walnut hull, and black walnut hull is very anti-parasitic, as well as cloves. And so if you use black walnut hull, cloves, and wormwood, that is a very potent threesome for getting rid of parasites. Hickory nuts, there's so many different things, and this, I'll have the links for you guys as always. This article gets into how to brew, forage coffee, and gets into the techniques on how you can do that as well. So my friends, as always, please do subscribe, thumbs up to support the channel. Make sure you click the bell so you get all notifications, and share with as many as possible as we wake up everybody to what's going on. As always, I look forward to your comments. Stay safe, my friends out there. God bless, and namaste.